It doesn't matter what a human is doing. Rest assured they'll look good while doing it. A quote from Ambassador Diggs, chief diplomat of the Galactic Union. Human first contact lives rent-free in the minds of all who witnessed it. When we touched down on Earth, we expected the nervous and informal scramble to communicate becoming of a young species. Humans, however, were different. The first sound that greeted my landing craft was most peculiar, a loud whir that got louder and louder as the seconds went by. I scanned the ground for whatever monstrous behemoth of a vehicle could make such a noise to no avail. My avian aide with his tunneling vision saw it first, pointing to the sky and exclaiming, "Look!" Humans call it a helicopter, or rather, helicopters. A fleet of 4 were rocketing to my position. 3 brutalist and jagged boxes with rotors formed a V shape, with the 4th following close behind. This 4th helicopter, however, was of a completely different design. It had sleek edges that seamlessly flowed and almost melted together into an incredibly organic design. The craft had the shape of a stretched teardrop, with a tail fin and rotor extending from the rear. The contrast between the brutal and jagged edges of the lead craft and the sleek, flowing nature of the rear sent me into a momentary sense of awe. What came next was even more impressive. The helicopters to the right and left veered suddenly to their respective sides, flanking my humble shuttle with menacing stares. The central beast rose with speed and nimbleness, unbecoming of its shape and size, also bearing down on me with an immense intimidation factor. The sleek helicopter floated down from the sky, presenting its side to my fellow diplomats and I with immeasurable grace and elegance. A panel on the helicopter's side descended to act as a ramp, and 3 humans soon spilled out from the craft's spacious interior. 2 large bipeds in black suits flanked a smaller human in a white suit as they emerged. The larger humans walked with purpose, their eyes hidden by black shades, but the intent shone through all the same. We protect the one in the middle. The central human walked in a much less rigid manner. Their white teeth beamed at us with a smile, and they walked with radiant confidence. The tables were turned entirely. Instead of the aliens gawking at our mere presence, we were gawking at the humans. The humans knew we were coming for weeks. To our great horror, it was later revealed that humanity's entire arsenal of orbital weapons had targeted us since we passed Titan, the moon of a particularly stunning gas giant. But that's a story for another time. The cunning apes had deduced that we posed little threat and decided to make first contact on their own terms, on the surface of Earth. Nothing has truly changed since those days. In every war, news report, conference, strategic meeting, company discussion, you name it, if a human showed up, you'd know. The human military was the best dressed, with the most intimidating ships and the biggest budget of any new species ever seen. After only 50 years, they added the illustrious title of best equipped to that list as well. Their guns didn't just look cool, they performed well. From the death-filled system of Beetlejuice to the box offices on Kamdashar, the human military made a name for itself. Human diplomats were more of the same, slick and effective. They showed up in the fanciest vehicles, held the best venues, talked big, and performed bigger. It is common knowledge that a good enough human diplomat can convince any nation to sell their soul. Luckily for us, these diplomats are well vetted and have an upstanding moral foundation. In the rare cases where humanity decides to expand aggressively, their usually upstanding morals could be twisted into a two-tongued menace, winning wars without a single shot. Don't even get me started on the proper politicians. They could, and do, stab people in the back constantly. Their posturing and foundations are so strong that all the blood ends up on their victims' hands. If a human in a position of power goes mad, I still shudder at the thought of the last time the galaxy was plagued by such an unhinged being of pure chaos. Even to this day, that madman still has some support, mostly due to how damn cool he and his military looked while doing it. Luckily for the rest of the galaxy, an opposing faction of humans was able to remove him from power and stopped him from realizing his vision of the first triumvirate of the stars. He was planning to rule the galaxy with 2 other individuals, which both happened to be robotic vessels controlled by, you guessed it, himself. The name was cool, though. The cherry on top was the lawyers. Oh, the lawyers. They could walk into a courtroom and simply declare their client innocent with such confidence and style that they could make someone get away with murder. This happened several times before nearly all prosecutors were also replaced by humans. In a court of law, the human's unmeasurable levels of confidence and desire to win are amplified tenfold. Only the worst of the worst can't be saved by humans, but on occasion, they are actually saved, and it takes a human to take them down when they inevitably end back up in court. Out of all the human sayings I've overheard, I like this one the most. We might be terrible at it, but at least we look good doing it.